It's not uncommon at all to feel an absolute depleted feeling after pregnancy. And if we look at this from the Taoist perspective of the three treasure system of health, and if you want to learn more about that three treasure system, we'll put a link to another video about it. But from that system, you have your first treasure, which is your Jing. This is your savings account of energy. It's your primary core kidney adrenal reserves. And you use up Jing little by little as you go through life. If you're stressing more, use it up more quickly. If you're a really Zen person, you're going to use up your Jing at a slower rate. And if you're living healthily, you use up your Jing more slowly, and that's a good thing, because when you run out, you do die. And giving birth is the single biggest depletion of Jing energy that a woman can do in her life. This is an incredible gift that you give into the next generation, and there's no doubt that it comes at a cost, but it's the most beautiful thing that you can ever do. The most generous thing that you can ever do for the next generation is giving birth and then going on to breastfeed. Now, there certainly are things that can be done to help you out here. There's no question about that. There are a lot of things you can't still do because you're probably breastfeeding, but that doesn't mean there's nothing you can do. So I would start here looking at breath work. Something that would be especially powerful would be the kind of breathing involved in the Wim Hof method. It's a very simple breathing practice. You could do it in 10 to 20 minutes in the morning, depending on how intensely you want to go into it. They have courses online that make it really easy. You don't have to do necessarily the cold water exposure part of it. You might want to dip your toe in a little bit and delve into that. But even if you just did the breath work part of it, it is very, very powerful and can have tremendous effects on the endocrine system, on your overall feelings of well-being and energy. It's fantastic. So I would say definitely check that out. Then in terms of supplementation, having still a really good prenatal, that's going to be covering all of your needs there. Supplementing with magnesium, ideally magnesium glycinate and magnesium L-threonate, because magnesium glycinate is great for the body and it's great for the mitochondria, but it doesn't cross the blood-brain barrier. So before you go to sleep at night, you may want to also look towards the magnesium L-threonate. That's going to be able to cross the blood-brain barrier and really help with sleep. Then, of course, optimizing your vitamin D levels. Almost nobody has optimized vitamin D levels. You really want to get them up in the 60 to 80 range. Sweet spot generally around 70. Almost nobody gets up there. And so that is either going to come from you spending a good amount of time out in sunlight every day, and I would highly encourage you to do that. Make your own vitamin D naturally. It's absolutely the best way to do it. And there's a huge amount of other benefits cognitively in terms of your overall mental well-being that come from being out in the sunlight that you don't get necessarily just from taking a vitamin D3 supplement. But you should do that too, because just from going out in the sun, chances are you're not going to get out there enough every single day, especially as we move out of summer into months where here in the northern hemisphere, the sun is not at such a high angle, so you can't make vitamin D as quickly in a short amount of time out in the sun. But while it's still summer here, get out in the sun, make some vitamin D, make the most of it. Then nutritionally, I don't know what your dietary limitations are. I don't know what your mental system is around eating, but you may want to look towards things like organ meats. If you're not comfortable eating those as prepared foods, I would consider looking at them in capsule form. These are some of the most nutrient-dense foods in the entire world that have been used to support women through pregnancy for eons by ancestral civilizations. So I would definitely look towards that. I don't know if you saved your placenta. That would be something to look at as well. If you did, if you did something like placental encapsulation, that is something to think about, because every animal, with the exception of a couple out there, consume their placenta after birth as a way of putting some of that Jing back into the body. If you don't have your placenta, there are companies that make placenta products from like deer placenta. You could look at like dragon herbs, for example. They have encapsulated deer placenta that you could consider. Then building up this Jing that we talked about a little bit at the beginning that's been so depleted. placenta is of course a ultra yin-jing restorative substance. But then also looking at black foods. What am I talking about here? Black sesame is a great place to start. You can find on Amazon for very affordable organic black sesame tahini. You could have a tablespoon of that every single day. It's fantastic. Then you could also, if you're going to eat beans, might as well eat black beans. And just have that in your mentality that when you can find foods that are black, these are going to be more Jing restorative foods. It's an easy way to think about what you want to look for. Then herb-wise, it's tricky here because I think you're probably breastfeeding, and for liability reasons, we can't recommend herbs during breastfeeding because there have not been long-term modern studies on them. So I definitely couldn't say to have astragalus while you're breastfeeding. That would be wrong to say. It would be reckless. It would expose me to tremendous liability, and for that reason, I'm absolutely not going to tell you to have astragalus. Then, looking at your sleep. Okay, so obviously sleep is going to be tremendously interrupted during this time, right? And that's pretty much inevitable. My goal for you would be that when you are sleeping, make that sleep the best sleep possible. Be in a room that's completely dark. As you're going into the evenings, minimize the lighting in your home. Stay off your devices or do things to your devices to turn the screens totally red. If you don't know how to do that, send us a DM and we'll send you a link to a video that walks you through. Like if you have an iPad or an iPhone, or even on your computer, you can adjust it at night, not just so that it goes into like night shift, I think they call it, where it turns a little bit more orange, because then you're still getting quite a bit of blue light. No, this is turning it so that it's only going to show you red light and black, and that is designed so it's not going to be disrupting your circadian rhythms. We're evolved to see some red light at night because fire, and it's so if you have red light and it's below eye level, like where a fire would be down on the ground, not up in the sky where the sun would be, that helps your body realize it's nighttime, and so we're going to let the melatonin flow and allow you to be tired and get some good rest. Then sleep in a cooler environment. That's going to help you get to sleep faster. You may consider something like an Uller, which I absolutely love. It's a mat that has a machine connected to it that makes cold water and it pumps it through these little tubes underneath you, so it helps keep you cool at night, which is especially in the summer so nice. And then NSDR. This is non-sleep deep rest. And this is also known as yoga nidra traditionally, or sleep yoga. And this is something where even if you don't have time to sleep, like you may say, okay, I've got 20 minutes right now. It's going to take me 8 or 10 minutes to fall asleep. That's not even worth trying to sneak in a quick little nap, but I am feeling pretty wiped out. Non-sleep deep rest, or yoga nidra, is basically you lie down, eyes closed, headphones on, and it's a form of a guided meditation that takes you into an extremely rested state. And just 10 or 20 minutes of this has been shown to be extremely restful, in some ways even better than sleeping for that amount of time, or even quite a lot longer. So this is something, if you got a quick window during the day where you need to recharge your batteries a little bit and need to make the most of that 20 minutes, go for this. There's plenty of free videos you can pull up on YouTube, or many meditation apps will have yoga nidra guided stuff as well. But even for free, just on YouTube, you pull up yoga nidra, and there's a bazillion of them. Find one that you like and use that. Put on your headphones, take that 20 minutes for yourself, and experience it. It's incredible how refreshed you can feel after one of these. So I would say bring all of these things together. Also make sure you're getting a little bit of exercise as your energy allows, but make sure you're not falling into the trap of being too sedentary. And optimize your nutrition. Make sure you're getting plenty of healthy fats. Make sure it's a wide variety of foods that you're consuming, that you're getting enough protein, that all your needs are being met, you got enough B vitamins coming in, and all the trace minerals, and especially if you're incorporating organ meats, it's really going to help you to cover your bases there. So these are my best recommendations. I hope things continue to get better and better for you, and I know it's tough, but it will get better, and I hope some of these things make it get better at an accelerated rate. So thank you guys for joining me today. I hope this video has helped you, and maybe it'll end up helping some more people as well. And I wish everybody a beautiful day.